the agents have their own Groundhog Day adventure full of mystery and hijinks. And that also has one of the finest commentaries on mortality I've seen in quite some time. The loss of one signals the final mission of Agents of S.P.O.I.L.E., Season 7, Episode 9. As I have always been. Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to this week's review of Agents of S.P.O.I.L.E. So yes, as usual, lots of spoilers coming your way. And do, as always, want to remind you about our quick jump index system. Don't have a lot of time? Take a look down and review. We'll have this whole review broken down, titleized, and time-stamped into easily digestible chunks. You can watch the end of the review first. You can watch the beginning last. You can watch this review in any order you like. All right, well, let's jump right into things. And first off, hats off to Elizabeth Henstridge, our very own Gemma Simmons. Tonight's episode was her directorial debut, and an amazing job that she had. A lot of stuff going on in this episode. A lot of fun, but also a lot of heart. Really kind of ran the gambit, I think, with emotions and beats in this episode. And first off, it's a fun idea to jump into, this kind of Groundhog Day scenario where everything is sort of repeating. Though, again, a little bit of a difference. We get our countdown as we're getting closer and closer with the anomaly. I love how they start setting that up very quickly. You know, we're 91 kilometers away, we're 84 kilometers away. We're, it's just getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer. I guess it was 94, then 91, and then 86. And so, I mean, that was very cool. And again, all of the time stuff was also great. I love them repeating the opening sequence. How we have Daisy do her thing, waking up and going through that whole first loop, then an ending, jumping back, and they did it again. Again, even repeating the opening credits, Agents of S.P.O.I.L.E. and, produced by and directed by and all that. I love them doing it. It was a really nice little touch there, really pulling us right into that repetition. But yeah, I loved seeing Daisy kind of like realizing what's going on very quickly. It was a nice little thing there. And then moving on, grabbing Coulson, and then sort of Coulson giving us that new loop. Oh no, this just isn't the second time, this is the 14th. No, since you died, we've done this like 86 times. And we're seeing within that a certain frustration, a different side of Coulson. We're seeing the patient part of Coulson we're not seeing that same manifestation here, which is great because later on it gives us some questions when we get into the mystery bit. But again, even just the time stuff and finding out the rules that when Daisy dies, she forgets everything. And so she has to sort of realize it out again, which again gives another side of Coulson's frustration for how many times that she's looped this and how long it's taken her to sort of realize what's happening. It's just, again, these are just small little touches. But I think pacing-wise it worked well because they also didn't waste a lot of time on anything. Again, Daisy takes into her second loop, she realizes that something is wrong and jumps right into it. Coulson, obviously, he remembers things, but even when we get to other characters, Gemma, she doesn't really take any time to go, okay, this is what's going on, fine. 1-2 little moves, and then boom, accepting it and moving on. Sousa, the same way, but I love how they also even took that and gave our little Sousa Daisy connection there, which I think was a nice, beautiful kind of scene and sort of explains some character motivation and idea behind going on there. But again, it's illustrating how everyone is just on board with things as they change. These are agents, they work together, they trust each other, and they didn't waste time doing any of this stuff, which I thought was, again, very smart. But again, once we get through the opening idea of the time, then we add the other layer. We add our mystery bit. Oh, somebody is killing us. We can't get to Gemma's thing. Who is doing it? Who is behind it? Does somebody remember? Which was great because, again, thinking of Sousa, well, he's also asleep like Daisy and Coulson. Maybe he's remembering. Was he replaced with a chronicom? No, but again, and even the questions, and again, because Coulson is acting a little differently, Maybe he suspected, is something wrong with him. That's certainly what we thought during the previews. But no, even within that, we get that wonderful moment of Phil sort of breaking down and having that kind of human insight of the mortality aspect of him and how he has spent so much time. Again, only been a handful of episodes for us. He spent a year as Max Headroom. So we get to see how this idea of not being human now has really started to wear on him from a personality standpoint, and he is questioning that idea of mortality, that he can't die. And from that, we get the realization on with Enoch, and that starts the whole other bit. We get wonderful, hilarious bits of trying to fight Enoch. Then we get the reality of what actually has happened, and then we end up with just, God, one of the most, like I said, heart-wrenching but poignant conversations on mortality and loneliness and that final step, and the fact that this ties back into Coulson's own concern with mortality. It's just, it brings everything back around and adds a very strong point, and then leaves us with the, oh, and by the way, this will be your final mission. I mean, we know from the audience this is the final season, but it makes it very poignant within the team as well, and leaves that as part of his Enoch's legacy of saving the team, being their friend as he has always been. Again, title of the episode, just heart-wrenching. But how we can see amongst how all of this sacrifice happens, in the end, it will still be the end. Not that everyone will die, just that this is the final mission as a team, which is a nice way to sort of wrap things up. Again, given that this is legacy and not kind of surprise, boom, we're just going to drop it, but knowing, giving our characters those few episodes ahead to know, you got to make the most of it, because isn't that what they're telling us ultimately? All right, well, let's just kick things off with our Scene of the Week for this week, which is, of course, our final scene, Enoch's sacrifice, which, again, Elizabeth Henstridge, amazing job directing this scene, setting this all up, keeping it this tight kind of family moment of Enoch and Daisy and Coulson. Just beautiful, and also, again, a long scene. There is, kind of a momentary breakup there where we have Gemma and Deke, and they're installing the time drive into that, which, by the way, I love that. The Electricon displacement mechanism? Looks an awful lot like an arc generator for Iron Man. Just saying. But very cool. But again, a really long scene, and very poignant. I mean, even as Daisy wakes up in that final bit and gathers everyone together, it's all very somber, it's all very direct. And Enoch, to his credit, takes no time. Again, we don't waste time in trying to explain things. Once Daisy tells Enoch what it is, of course, he can piece those things together and go, oh, this is what's needed in order to fix the time drive. Got it. Here you go. Not even a moment to pause. All it took was him just figuring out what it was that needed to be done and then just doing it. That, as he has always been. This has always been Enoch's bit. And then even just how he presents it. With this is, I would have done this for Fitz. Fitz would have done this for me, as I would expect all of you would have done this for me. Of course I will do this for you. And again, it's not even that thought of it. And then we get that further insight of his idea of loneliness. The idea of being alone wasn't an issue to him until he met this particular group of agents of S.P.O.I.L.E.R.S. And now being alone makes him feel loneliness. And now in those final moments of humanity, of life, will he then always be alone? Will he feel this loneliness as he crosses over? And again, the fact that it ties right into Coulson's own anxiety, as we're seeing this manifestation of, he'll always see his friends die. He'll always be the one that will ask. He may come back, but he will do it. And again, beautiful bit with even Daisy kind of like talking back with him about that, of like, you know, hey, we've seen you die too a lot. You're not the only one. But that idea of living as long as Enoch has, as long as a Chronicon, thousands of years, seeing so much, this family will move on. Coulson, as he is now, will see all of his friends die. He will be alone. That is his curse of what he is to see, and his frustration of having that thrust upon him. And here in Enoch's final moment, in seeing that and recognizing that he can turn to Coulson and apologize to him, knowing that that is the fate that he has given Coulson, to see his families die in front of him, to be the last one to go. I mean, again, it's a great thing. Maybe it's the easiest to go first and not be the last one. It's just, there was so much that was covered in this scene. Not only just the sacrifice, the acknowledgement from Gemma and Deke, then we have Daisy and Coulson sitting down and sharing those moments, dealing with mortality and the loneliness and feeling Coulson's whole bit. I mean, it's a lot. And done simply and beautifully. It was an amazing scene. And I'm so glad that they took the time to really take in these moments. And then, of course, at the end, giving us that little dark foreshadowing that this will be the final mission for the team. Your friends will survive, but this will be the team's final mission. And again, we get a few little mystery bits that are sort of sprinkled through this. Does that mean that Daisy's going to die? If the friends are going to survive? I don't think so, just because he does say later on, as a team, this will be the end. So it's a perfect way for the characters to be with us as the audience, knowing that however this is going to wrap up, this will be no more, that what we are seeing. It's again, the characters get to share that sadness as we are having that sadness as audience. It's very meta on many levels, and like I said, just a beautiful, beautiful scene. Gonna miss Enoch. So Daisy and Sousa, huh? Okay. I mean, a lot of you guys have called that, and I guess it allows, everybody to sort of wrap up couple-wise. You know, we'll have our Felinda group, we'll have Mac and Yo-Yo, we'll have Fitzsimmons, now Daisy will get with Sousa. Yeah, okay, Deke's by himself, but nobody really feels that bad about that. I'm so mean. But yeah, honestly, I think it was a really, really nice scene. I love how Daisy is just, again, waking up every time, seeing Sousa there, like, ready to go. And I love finally asking you, why are you here? What is going on? And I love the fact that she, even in that moment, takes the thought and just goes like, I could take a loop. The heck, we keep sort of fiddling our thumbs, maybe we'll get a new direction out of this. Just takes that moment. I love it. It's a great character bit. And then we have Sousa's little breakdown of Daisy, which again, interesting way to court. But I guess it works very well. And I don't know, I think we get some colors of Agent Carter here painted on top of Daisy. Somebody who's always running into danger, doesn't give up, pushes harder and harder. And he thinks someone like that needs someone to have their back. It was really kind of a perfect, great breakdown, really, of Daisy's character, and of Sousa sort of sussing her up very quickly as he has. And then getting into that little emotional bit that, yeah, I kind of like people like that. They could also do this and quake things and have superpowers and kick butts. Like, that starts to become very specific from people to a person. So you got a little style in you, man. And I like that. I love the fact that later on how Daisy just sort of takes that bit and takes the kiss, because of course now she knows that he's into her, even though he doesn't remember, and of course doesn't know that she knows that he knows, or he knows that she knows that. Anyway, it's a great bit. If you are in time jumps and you got sort of a crush and you want to take that move and see what it is, I don't know, consent's always good. And technically, Sousa did sort of give consent with the whole other bit. I know that's not romantic. However, if you chose wrong, at least next time on the tune loop, they won't remember. So that's kind of a plus. Anyway, overall, while I wasn't a big Daisy Sousa shipper, I do kind of like the two of them together. There is sort of there's a little chemistry there. So, sure, I'll go with it. Oh, and Fitz is dead. Kinda, I think. It sort of feels that way. We got a few little hints here. Obviously, whatever the real story is quite horrific because Gemma's bit of memory there once she got back how to actually fix the time machine mechanism is a lot of what have I done, what have I done. There's a murmur there that seems to relate to Fitz, and then there's screaming. That doesn't feel very good. Also, Enoch's final statement at the end when he talks about Fitz was my best friend. I mean, I know Enoch's dying, and Daisy does say, so you've been a good friend to as you have been to us. But that's it. Has been. Isn't that the term, if they were both still alive, that Enoch should have used? Fitz has been my best friend. It's kind of a current things and reflecting on the past as opposed to was. I don't know. I mean, they're protecting Fitz. So maybe he's not dead, but maybe he's not really human anymore, melded into a machine. They've had that ancient time, whatever. Maybe he's grown old while she has been young because time dilation. And look, there's a whole math thing we can get on into a moment. Maybe in Fans of S.P.O.I.L.E. we can touch on time dilation theory. It's really messed up. But something horrible is not right, I think. Yeah, Fitz would have done this for me. There's a lot of just past tenses that are used with Fitz, and the horror on Gemma's things, I'm getting a bad feeling. Okay? Episode 9, still haven't seen Fitz. It's not good. Alright, just a couple of small things. One, Yo-Yo's really embraced her new powers. Quick little line that she had said there in the book is, what, now that I won't be back, I can check anywhere? I mean, again, she couldn't use her powers for ages. She just did it to what she thought was going to save the time machine and didn't quite do it. But now she's like, heck man, I can go anywhere. I got it. I'm cool. I mean, I love the confidence and everything. But I just thought that was kind of funny. She's just like, okay, yeah, I know I've had issues, but no problem now. Got it all covered. They definitely had fun. On the bits of trying to convince other people that you were time traveling. Guess the word. Yes, even a crazy word that you just come up with. That was awesome. I loved Daisy perfectly mimicking Yo-Yo or talking along with her. Where she was on screen, they're like, oh, I can go and check it out. And Daisy's like exactly saying what Yo-Yo is saying there about her powers and being able to run around and check anything out. It was awesome. I love that. That's definitely doing it multiple times where you can say in sync with tone exactly the way that she spoke something. But we also had fun little bits. Gemma constantly repeating every time she's told that this is what she has to do. It's like, all right, well, let's do it before I change my mind. Like every time, let's do it before I change my mind. Was great. Also, one of those when Daisy and Coulson first told Deke, Enoch, and Gemma that one of them had to be the murderer. As Gemma's being let off, we had this great little shot of Enoch and Deke turning heads to each other, like staring right at each other. It was just a perfectly timed, like, are you the one? Are you the one? Are you the suspect? No, you're the suspect. It was, again, just a great tiny little moment, but nice. Enoch is fast. I mean, I know he did the whole hunter upgrade to himself, but just really, when they first were even testing is Enoch the one, and how quickly he moved and grabbed Daisy and tossed people around, that was impressive. Though I have to say, because she quaked him right afterwards, and he kind of had that, wow, reaction, I was a little surprised how much they were avoid trying to do a direct fight with him. Then, of course, we saw the reason of why he didn't do that, which was just awesome. I loved that whole sequence, the whole montage of Daisy and Phil getting their asses kicked and being piled on top. And then, of course, as it grows, it's Daisy and Phil. Then it's Daisy and Phil and Gemma standing there. Then you add a few more people. And then at the very end, it's everyone. With, God, just the perfect line sequence. What was it? Sousa starting it with, where did all the weapons come from? Is Deke dead? Very. Should we be sad about that? We do not. Oh, do we need to be sad about that? We do not. Because, again, time jump right there. I mean, I guess it's kind of mean to Deke. He's dead. Everyone's like, we don't need to be sad about him. But from a Daisy standpoint and such, how much they've repeated this, it's like, no, we don't need to worry. We're gonna be right back there again. There was kind of an odd thing with the montage, just in the sense that initially it was like, Enoch, maybe you don't even remember that you would cut the thing, and therefore, because again, Enoch was the one that noticed it was all cut and stuff, right? So understand, you're programming, you don't remember what it is that you've done. Whereas by the time they get to the end, Enoch's like, don't do this or I'm going to have to take you out. All right, well, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for us. I know it's hard to cover everything, but that's what Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. is for. Always Friday nights right afterwards. So this Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, we'll be going over this episode, as always, with myself, Rob, and Don. We'll dive a little bit more into things. We'll cover up the stuff that I forgot to get to, and hopefully get your comments, enjoy the chat, expand things out a little bit more. Now, we are on the final end run. We had our final little tag scene, which was just Nathaniel and Cora, and she's got powers, and then there's a mention of Little Sister, which of course is probably talking about Daisy, so we'll have some family stuff going on, where we can expect to be going, but it's only 4 episodes left. 2 single week, and then the big 2-hour finale, the final 2 episodes. Now, our fan special for Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D., well, we're going to have you come on the show, be part of it, will be, of course, the week before the 2-hour finale, so that's going to be on Friday, August 7th, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, as always. You guys can sort of jump on. We're going to do this before the finale since we have the 2-hour finale. It'll give us extra time to sort of discuss that big stuff and also maybe quite emotional. We got to all try and hold our composure at the end here, right? So look forward to that. But of course, for now, we're going ahead and wrap things up. Thank you, as always, for joining me with these reviews. And if you enjoyed it, please go ahead and hit that like button. Thoughts, ideas, and comments, you know where to put them. Right down in the section below. What do you guys think about this episode? It was awesome, wasn't it? Your favorite of the season so far, or just a nice little joyful bit? Maybe hold on to whether or not it's the best of the season. We still have a few more ahead of us. But definitely, what do you guys think of this episode? What do you think about losing Enoch? Just how everything sort of played out. Phil's mortality. Does that sort of make sense why he's been a little thirsty, maybe missing that humanity within himself? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Throw those thoughts down in the section below. You can always catch me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Darren Jakes. Please subscribe. It's quick, it's easy. It's a one-button press. You'll catch the rest of these reviews, plus Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then we've got The Boys coming up. We're doing some more live stream discussions about that, and The Mandalorian later on in the year. So stuff coming forward. Don't miss any of those reviews. You won't if you're a subscriber. Do that by clicking this button right here. And we'll go ahead and throw up a couple of our latest reviews right here for you to check out. So that's going to be it for me. I'm D, and I'm out of here. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.